Hey guys, how are you doing today? Um, this is early for me to be doing a video um, this soon after my last one, but so much has happened in that time that I felt the need to say something. I felt the need to have a conversation, to express my feelings of concern, my feelings of sadness, my feelings of hurt, my feelings of pain, mixed with some anger, mixed with all types of emotions that I have had enough. And I say that because of everything that is happening right now. Within the last few weeks, things are just coming out about another, and I don't want to call it a pandemic. I don't know what to call it other than what it is, and that is this big heavy load of racism, and it has. I'm not going to say it has reared its head again. It has never gone anywhere. It continues to be where we are. It continues to manifest itself. It continues to infiltrate us like a bad, no pun intended, virus. But this type of virus, the only, in my eyes and my prescription for this, the only way that we can get from under this is through a heavy dose of some love, a heavy dose of some forgiveness, a heavy dose of some trust, a heavy dose of God. We need something right now to bring us all back to a place of being and sharing in the same space, regardless of what I look like to you. Enough is enough. I've watched the news last night. I've been watching things brewing for some time, and it has come to a time and a place that people of color have had enough. We've had enough. What more can we do to show you that we are not a threat in a place and a land and in America where we were brought to in the first place? Not by choice for some. So now here we are yet again fighting for our place, fighting for a voice. And some of us don't have enough of a voice that we're lashing out. And then there's those opportunists who have the nerve and the gall to go into these hard working communities who are barely trying to stay afloat to destroy it. Enough. Enough. Not only does my heart ache, my head aches, my soul is just distraught. Enough is enough. Why do you fear me because of the color of my skin? Why? What is it that I have done to you that has been so bad that you want to take yourself and take me out? I'm tired. This is one of the reasons why I continue to be a voice. This is one of the reasons why I am proud to be who I am in the skin that I am in. I am proud to be a woman of color, an African American woman, a strong woman. I'm proud. But when I hear a man laying on the ground with somebody's foot on their neck, calling for their mama, I've had enough. He called for his mother, who at the time I did not know had gone on to glory. What is that? That you cannot hear somebody saying to you, He's dying. Your heart is so hardened, you don't hear that. But yet and still, we are striving and trying every day to show you that we're not a threat. Every day. Try walking around in the skin that we're in. And I'm a woman. But try walking around as a black man in America who still 2020 being oppressed. Somebody explain that to me. I am a mother. I'm a wife. I have a husband. I have kids. I have family. And within all of that, black people, black men, brown men. And every day, we are put in a position where we have to trust that God will protect them because we don't have the trust in the system. What is that? And then people that want to peacefully protest, peacefully, to show that what they're feeling and what they're going through, have it turned and shift from the actual situation to something else. Remember, I've been saying, what I do affects you. What you do affects me. Burning down somebody's community that they live in to destroy their quality of life is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And you have to understand, just like they had that camera watching that situation, they also have the camera watching what you do. There are bad apples in every situation. But what I have seen in these last few weeks is sickening. A black man can't even jog down the street. Why? He can't jog down the street. Because you think, without any evidence, that he's doing something else. A woman can't sleep in her bed without getting shot 8 times. Okay? A man who is complying in handcuffs can't live another day. Because of what? And then God forbid, if you want to bird watch in Central Park, okay, and ask somebody politely to leash their dog. I'm not making these stories up, people. Look them up. Look them up. The man was bird watching. Had the camera not been filming, who knows how that would have came out. Emmett Till comes to mind to me. These are just my thoughts and my opinions. That's what they are. My heart goes out to even all those that I don't even know about. But during the time when I was going through my dissertation, defending, writing the paper, doing what I needed to do to get this published and approved and defend, I had a list of names on a whiteboard in my office. It's still up, where I was writing the names of people that have gone on by the hands of another. Okay? And the more I looked at the names, the more I wrote. And the sad part about it is I ran out of space on the board. I have Freddie Gray listed on my board. I have Tamir Rice listed on my board. Michael Brown listed on my board. Jamila Bolden listed on my board. She was 9 years old. 9 years old. Doing her homework. Why? There are others. Sandra Bland. Okay? And there's more. There's more. Eric Garner. There's more on this board. Why? Why are we such a threat? Why do you think we're not capable or qualified to operate in this society with everyone else? Why are we such a fear down in your soul that you just want to destroy us? Explain that to me. Burning down cities, communities. I don't know who did what. I wasn't there. But I saw it with my eyes. Did my eyes lie? Are my eyes lying to me? That racism is standing on our necks to the point where it's literally taking us out. Yes, a conversation needs to be had. And not just a conversation. We know what this is. It has been identified. We see what the symptoms are. Now it's time for a prescription for healing. Because at this rate, between COVID-19 and racism 2020, and I want to subtract probably, add some more to that. Explain it to me. That's my question. And a lot of times you don't get the answers to your whys, but this is one why I need answers to. And this is not an angry black woman speaking. This is a hurt black woman speaking. Who understands what that looks like and what that feels like when people look at you differently as if you don't belong? Have a little education and oh my goodness. Or if you don't have any education, oh my goodness. Well, guess what? I had to come up through the ranks. I paid my dues. Yes, I was on welfare one time. Yes, I got food stamps. Yes, my child had to go through a certain schooling. But guess what? He had a mother that will read the back of a vegetable can to him. Yes, I did. To make sure that he was cultured, had an understanding of a lot of things. And took it upon myself to not allow him to settle for less. So explain to me why there's no place in society for black people, brown people. Explain it to me. I don't understand. I don't know. So bring me into your know. Because I don't know. We are living in hellish times. And it is a saying, if you're walking through hell, keep on walking. And that's what we're doing. We're going to walk through this hell. We're going to walk through this fire. We're going to come out on the other side better than we were when we were going in. And how anybody can sit back and watch what's going on in this world today and not have a feeling of compassion and sadness and love in their heart, there is a problem with you. And that is why I'm stressing so much for us to be better, to do better. Dig inside yourselves and your heart and your soul and find out what that it is that's causing you to act out like this, so much so that you want to take somebody's life. Explain all of that to me. Do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. Really? Do you really know what that means? That don't mean kill me. And that doesn't mean I'm going to kill you. I'm a strong believer that vengeance is God's. I am. And right now we got to go through a process of forgiveness that none of us are at right now. A lot of us aren't there because it cuts so deep. The wound keeps opening up. You keep pouring more salt in. You keep tugging at it. So there's no healing there for us to be able to move through. So understand that we have an opportunity. All of us have an opportunity right now to sit back, shut up, listen with your ears, hear with your heart. What is it that I can do to make this better? I can't change what happened, but I can start where I am. So where are you? While I'm walking through hell, where are you? What are you doing? And this is not just for white people. This is for everybody. We all play a role. Yes, we have some bad police officers. Yes, we do. But we also have some good ones in our families, as friends, okay? And we know that they're good. We know that they're pressing their way. You know they're in this profession. Not because it's got to be a calling to be in it. And yes, we do need training to understand what you're getting yourselves into when we're all out there together. Not bringing that extra baggage of bias into that new relationship that you have at that point in time. It's new. So you treat it as such. Of course, everyone's guard is going to be up. But you treat that new individual in that process as new, as being cordial, as being respectful. So that you can leave that situation with a thought, that was good. Not want a stereotype on either side. But I saw something yesterday that gave me a little bit of hope. You had the protesters for George Floyd, okay? And then you had the police officers that were lined up. The protesters that knew Mr. Floyd was standing in front of the police officer as a barrier, okay? And they was letting the other protesters know this is not what Mr. Floyd would have wanted. He wanted it to be peaceful, for us to be heard, not hackling and saying bad words. I'm just going to put just all kinds of bad words to the officers. Okay? There's a level of respect. There's a level of grace that needs to be offered until all the facts are out there. And they were standing there as a buffer between the two, exercising their right to protest peacefully. And then you have these other ones that want to come in and tear stuff up. Okay? I'm seeing individuals up close and personal with the middle finger up. Okay, really? What is that? What is that going to get anybody? You got graffiti everywhere. What is that? In a neighborhood that's attempting to revitalize. We all have to do better. A lot of us are angry. We have every right to be angry. Every right. Because within all of this chaos, this is nothing new. Everyone's just seeing it as if it is. This is nothing new. Because all the ones that came before this may not have had a camera. Maybe there should have been a camera during the time of Emmett Till. What you think? How would that have played out? Now we've got cameras. We have ways of showing another lens of the truth. Okay? And that same lens that we have for the lens of truth, we also will see lenses of destruction, of mayhem, which does not help the situation. You got families already grieving, wanting justice. And then you have the other folks coming and making it worse. What you do affects me. What I do affects you. Get it in your head. This is not a me problem. This is a everybody problem. All of us problem. And we have to be honest with some transparency and accountability to say, I'm wrong. Now, yes, now we have to wait to see how all of these many cases are going to play out. You know, T's got to be crossed, I's got to be dotted. So we got to let the system do what it needs to do. But at the same time, there's a responsibility for us to be compassionate, show some sympathy, some empathy to those that are being affected directly in this. This is beyond a common sense sort of thinking. This is a willingness to say, I have a duty to intervene, to intercede on the behalf of those that are going through. That's our duty. And I keep going back to what I've been hearing, and it's a scripture, 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people would humble themselves and pray, if so that means if we would do that, a major shift could happen. If we all get on one accord and understand we have some holes in our society. We have some leaks. We have some just bad stuff, waste, some sewage that's running through our society. We need to get something to clean it up. Come on, everyone. That could have been somebody in my family. That could have been somebody in your family. That is what these families are going through. Let's not be part of the stereotype that they just keep stacking up on us. We are smart, creative, a people of an abundance of knowledge that we can take and make it work for us. And to my haters, may God have mercy on your soul. Because right now there's nothing that we can do that he doesn't already have planned for you. I've cried a little bit about these situations. I've pondered what can be done. You know, I've written about it. I've interviewed officers. I've interviewed residents. I've sat and I've talked with law enforcement. And it all comes from a place of training, your background, you know, all of that. And I'm going to even say how you were raised, you know. And I'm not saying that's an excuse for it. And I'm not saying that's for everyone. But I believe we were all taught to be kind to one another, to share. That's one of the things that you learn when you're in preschool, how to share your toys, how to share certain things. And I've watched children, they don't know color at a particular age. They're willing to play and to have fun and to share. But something happens between that time and the time of growth. And then there's also something that happens that stops the growth. So where in that process does things go wrong? What caused that change to make you think that because maybe one person did something to you, that everybody is on that same bandwagon? Where does that come from? I was taught to share. I was taught not to see color. My family, as I say, is a United Nations of people where we have interracial marriages and relationships and all types of things. We love hard. We love strong. So where in the process did that hatred for your fellow man or woman or child come into place? Where? This is a rough one. This is really a rough one. Because I think about my husband. I think about my grandchildren. I think about my kids. I think about all of those entities in my life. All of my assignments that I'm attached to as being a wife, a mother, a daughter, an auntie, you know, a cousin, a friend, a sister, a godmother. All of those I think about. And I pray that I'm giving a light to those that I'm connected to. I pray that I'm not that hindrance. I pray that I can offer some wisdom to those that are coming up after me, those that are growing and learning. And Lord knows I pray for grace and for mercy, that I'm able to extend as much as God has been extending to me. And learning the forgiveness factor, which I understand is a hard process to go through. But when you're willing to go through that process, it becomes a blessing. So I'm just trying to figure out, why do we have 400 plus years of this oppression continuously going on? Why things aren't equal? Why the playing field is not leveled? Why justice is not leveled? Why? And I do believe there needs to be some really open dialogues and conversations between communities, between law enforcement, between the mental health community. Everybody needs to come together and create a training environment where we can discuss and put together information to help those that are in these fields. Okay? You have doctors that take their oath to do no harm, to look out for their patients. you know? But yet and still, other areas are lacking. I'm not understanding. Yes, my degree is in local communities and sustainability and all the little accolades and all that. But that came from me growing up in Philadelphia and being this little girl in South Philly, just trying to figure out why I couldn't go down the street to the park and play. Okay? Or me wanting to help somebody that was going through a little hard time, being able to point them into where they could find housing and and health care and things of that nature. Because a lot of my background and my education comes from growing up, comes from those communities. That's where it comes from. And I wanted to be in a position where I could have a voice for those people. And not only do I have a voice for them, I have a voice for myself. So that little 4 or 5 year old little girl has grown up into a grown woman who can speak her truth during that time. This is what happened. Okay? This is what happened. So explain to me what it is that we need to do. What more can we do? And now that I've said and I've hoped that these things will just prick your heart just a little bit, I'm going to leave you with this. This is this poem that I wrote. And it's called, and I did it many years ago, and it's called Remember, Remove, Release. Remember, the action of reflection, thinking back to a time, a place that was not great. The oppression was here way before the depression. People fighting not for the right, but for the righteous. Living, breathing air tainted by hatred, inequality, and unfairness. Why? Because the color of my skin? Too dark, too light, never ever just right. Defined you as living in the big house or near the outhouse. Back in the day, traveling at night, quiet, undetected to gain your freedom, dodging bullets, ropes, dogs, and having to kill your children to spare them from slavery. Sitting on a bus was simply too much for some to bear until Rosa said, "Get out of here." Stripped away from the safety of our family and home, men, women, and children abused beyond your wildest imagination. It is because of their blood, sweat, and tears that you have options and opportunities to define your own destinations. Remove that ill-advised notion of being called outside of your name. It is unacceptable to be called a bee or fill in the blanks. Remove your ignorance and stereotypes of one another. Be more than what they say you are. Remove the fear of the unknown, holding you hostage by your own misguided interpretations of what is relevant or true. Remove the complaints from your lips. Release. Release your love, compassion, and allow it to flow like a raging river. Release your courage to stand firm, fearless, and strong. Release your memories of their struggles. There is no rhyme or reason for this killing season. Release your faith to right or wrong. It's time to get back to the basics and simply get along.